This business is like the Wild West. Gold, silver, rare coins, lost treasures of history. You never know what's gonna walk through that door.
These are coins from North Korea.
I'll probably double my money. Watch this. I'm Evan Kale, and this is Pawn Man. You guys, we have a great episode of Pawn Hub in store, but before we get into it, I sincerely want to thank the episode's sponsor, Cambridge Gold and Antiques on eBay. Cambridge Gold and Antiques specializes in wristwatches, pocket watches, a lot of stuff that I do, mainly watches and jewelry items. They're always buying, like me. It's a duo. Apparently they were on American Pickers in 2015, so that's pretty cool. This is interesting. They're always looking for antique electronic appliances, such as small fans. If you guys have anything like that, please hit them up. They are actively looking. It's why they bought the sponsorship, actually, is they wanted me to shout about how much they want. Small electronic appliances, I guess there's a huge market for it, and they do really well on it. So if you have anything like that, I put a link to their store in the video description. I also added their email. So if you have any small electronic appliances, wristwatches, anything like that, or you're interested in buying from them, please hit them up or visit them on eBay. I'm so happy to have them as a sponsor. Thank you, Cambridge Gold and Antiques. With that, let's get into the episode. All right, well, we got something good coming in here.
So this is the, I mean, it's beat, right? But nevertheless, I'll let you take a look at it.
We have here, this is a Civil War sword. I don't see these too often, so he was just saying this is shark skin, and I have a sword from, it's got ray skin up here, but wow. Do you know the maker of the sword?
Ames, A-M-E-S.
Ames, okay.
This flower pattern is noted by that company.
How long have you had this?
I was given it when I was 15 years old. Don't worry, it's
I was gonna say, this is why we can't have nice things.
right. The sheath is in tip-top bad shape. So
What year is this from?
1865 or 1863.
I just bought a 1863 pistol, so this would go well with that. That's very funny. God, I don't know how many people this killed.
Yeah, exactly.
At least one. Yeah, I can see there's battle action in it.
Yep.
Yeah, there's nicks on the blade. Wow.
Yeah, right there you can see those nicks in the blade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Where'd you get it?
My great-great-grandfather.
Okay.
His name was Thomas Lewis.
And this was his sword.
Right.
I have no idea what something like this would even be worth. I gotta look it up. All right, so I'm seeing examples here are going anywhere from 2 to 500.
Mm-hmm.
300 bucks.
That's a deal.
Okay. Well, that's really funny because now I have a pistol and I have a sword from the same year. So maybe I'll try and sell them as a pair. I still got to get that pistol checked out. In fact, we're gonna take care of that this week. I think, yeah, this is my first Civil War sword. So I was actually pretty surprised looking online. There are similar examples, like I said, 2 to 500. I saw one for 12, but it was in like pristine shape. This one's pretty worn. I would think this definitely killed someone. I mean, there's fucking nicks in this blade up and down. There's more than 5 or 6 or whatever I said. We've seen bodies, like this is how I die. This is nice though. Very nice craftsmanship. It's a cool weapon. The scabbard's dog shit shot, but I'll probably, low end, I will be able to get, like right now, I bet I could get $450 for this right now. I could make $150. I want to try and get 5. All right, well, cool. Let's see how we do on this, and let's put this in the back for now, and we'll get that gun taken care of. And once we get the gun checked out, we will figure out what we're gonna do with this.
So, fine this morning, I woke up and I went and had breakfast at my neighbor's and she says, so you ready for the blizzard? I'm like, what fucking blizzard? Come on. This has been, I think this is the snowiest winter we've ever had, or I've had in my life here in 33 fucking years. It will not stop motherfucking snowing. I'm so sick of it too. Jesus Christ. I just want my bike commute to not be hell, and it is, I just hate the fucking snow. It is so goddamn, fucking goddamn sky broke open. Holy shit. Getting molested by old man winter. So, tickle my cigar, old man winter. Look at this, I've been out here for 10 fucking seconds. I'm covered in snow. Stop it! I'm sick of this shit! Sorry. At least I got an apology. Unless I get struck by lightning.
It's magical in here in Minnesota. It's just magical. If only we had a goddamn sports team that could win a goddamn fucking thing.
All right, back to work. All right, we got a really fun, quick announcement. We have a new website, finally. And I know you guys have been screaming, Pawn Man, why do you have a website? Because the fact is, like, I got so much going on. I fucking didn't have time. But finally, we got around to doing it this week. We've created a new website. We'll still be doing sales over Discord and messaging and all that. But I'd like to be phasing more into this because Shopify was $3,500 for a year, so I want my money's worth on it. But it'll be a lot easier. And I know you guys have been wanting this for a long time, so I finally got around to doing it. So this is the new website. So it is pawnmanstore.com. Right now you can use promo code pawnman5 for 5% off your first purchase. So I'm gonna be uploading you guys all the bullion that I get. Right now I've only got a few items on here, but you know, if you guys see on Instagram, I'll have 100, like a 100 ounce bar. I'll put it on here now too. I'll make it easy and it'll be the same price. So we have some North Korean currency on here. I have some very exclusive high-end items that I don't advertise anywhere else on here. My entire Third Reich collection, or at least what I have left, I've sold some of it. What I have left of it is on here. I mean, this stuff is not cheap, as you guys can see, but you can get these. I have other collectibles on here. We have one, we're gonna talk about this in a minute. One of the H.H. Holmes is on here right now. I'm not gonna put too many on here. You can get my books, everything you guys could want for Pawn Man, all things Pawn Man. I don't have any clothes on here yet, but there's other DPRK items. I mean, there's gonna be a lot more stuff. I just got started, so you guys please, please, please check out my new website. I wanna be streamlining everything from here going forward. But I mean, if you still wanna message me, that's fine. Just know that like this is gonna be way better. Way less chaos, so go check it out. Pawnmanstore.com. It is in the Linktree link. There's a link in the video description below. And again, use promo code PawnMan5. This turned out so well. I am so pleased with Lady Liberty Bullion. I mean, I've just been pleased with Lady Liberty Bullion since I started working with him. He does such fucking good work. And like, I am just blown away by how well this turned out. This is awesome. So this is my first installment of the True Crime series. This is H.H. Holmes. We will have 34 of these total. I'm keeping number 1 and I'm keeping number 34. The other 32 will be available. There's one like you saw on the website. There won't be more than one at a time. These are a super limited run. I am gonna sign the backs of all the cards. Like I said, this is the first criminal in this true crime series. Let's talk all about H.H. Holmes. I am very excited to talk about him. This is one of the most interesting, terrible, morbid, awful things that I love talking about.
Born Herbert Webster Mudgett in 1861, Holmes confessed to 27 murders when they hanged him. It's thought that he killed over 200. He is one of the most prolific, evil motherfucking serial killers ever in American history. Like one of the most evil serial killers in history. I think he was the first one ever captured. It's honestly a shame that they didn't study him because there was a lot to be learned from him and his brain. In fact, Holmes said when he was captured in 1894, he confessed saying, "I was born with the devil in me. I could not help the fact that I was a murderer. No more than a poet can help the inspiration to sing." He said that. Jesus Christ. So Holmes was born, like I said, 1861 to a wealthy family, and as a child, he showed signs of high intelligence. He was very interested in medicine. Interestingly, he was bullied as a kid by other schoolmates. Now here's where it gets a little sketchy right off the bat. Holmes is not only one of the worst murderers, he was an excellent con artist, one of the best. So much so that he spewed so much bullshit, it's not entirely known what is all true and what he made up. So supposedly he was bullied as a kid, and he had this experience where the other kids found out he was afraid of the doctor's office, and there was a skeleton in the doctor's office. And so the other kids made him go to it. I don't know how, like they dragged him or what they did, but they forced him into a doctor's office room, which he was terrified of, with his human skeleton, and he, instead of letting the experience hurt him and, letting the fear crush him, he drank it in so much so that he liked it. Something that made him afraid by the end of this short experience, just being in the doctor's office, he likes it so much he credits it with giving him the lust to kill. This is crazy full circle. So as a kid, he would capture small animals and he would have surgeries on them. Warning signs much. Allegedly, he killed a childhood playmate. It's not entirely known if this is true or not. There's some evidence that he might have. This could have been his first kill, but this is not confirmed. So Holmes attends the University of Michigan's med school. He was an okay student. He meets a lady named Clara in 1878. They get married, they have a kid, and then he abandons him very shortly after. Somewhere around 1885 is where he runs away and he moves to Illinois. Once in Illinois, he takes on the name Holmes as a surname. And this is an homage to Sherlock Holmes. I don't know why he picked that detective, but supposedly that's how he got the name Holmes. So when he moves to Chicago, he starts calling himself a doctor and he starts working in a pharmacy. Now I don't want to get too much into this because this is actually very lengthy and complicated. His crimes were not simple. Basically, he starts a pattern of fraud, where he goes town to town, person to person. He either takes up employment or he convinces he weasels his way into these businesses, and he gets everybody to take out life insurance policies, making him a benefactor, or he gets other language to make him owner of people's stores, people's property, and he's killing people along the way. Oh, whoops, boy, Mary left me a life insurance policy for 10 grand. She died. Damn to say she left me her business. So this kind of works out because, again, he's an excellent con artist. He's a great manipulator. He's very good at lying. Most people believe his bullshit, but not everyone. In 1893, the World's Fair comes to Chicago. What Holmes sees is an excellent opportunity to kill a whole lot of strangers from out of town that nobody's gonna miss. So he begins construction of this murder castle. It was a very mysterious construction. Even when the construction started, the people that he had constructing it, he either murdered them or they just didn't know what they were building. This house was equipped with secret passages, trapdoors, soundproof rooms. He had vents where he could gas people, asphyxiate them. He had a kiln and a crematorium in the basement. There were chutes to drop bodies down into the basement so nobody could see him hauling bodies. He could get rooms to lock from one way but not another. And so in this murder castle, he would lure victims in. In fact, one of the first victims of this castle, I forget if it was the first one or not, he built a soundproof room in the basement. And the guy who built the room, once he was done constructing it, Holmes is like, oh, come on, let's go test it out. Okay, you stand here, I'm gonna close the door, and I want you to scream real loud. I wanna see if I can hear you. Because, you know, I don't know if I'm standing inside. Why don't you stand here? And so the guy says, okay, and Holmes sealed him in his tomb. This was just one of many. Now, this 1893 World's Fair, what's so interesting about it, it is the reason why we have beautiful cities. There was so much technology that was on display to the world for the first time. There were machine guns on display that would go on to be the guns of World War I. Like a bunch of traveling circuses were there. The whole damn thing was lit up with lights. This was an experiment at beautifying cities. But unfortunately, Holmes cast a shadow over the whole thing that, in my opinion, just completely ruined the entire event. In fact, I can't even look at an 1892-1893 Columbia Exposition $50, the commemorative they made just for this event. I can't look at it without thinking of Holmes. So during this World's Fair, he's killing people, he's killing people, he's killing people. The amount of fraud that he's committing, it's not the murders. It's the fraud. That's what's really making things stink, because he's not able to trick everyone. And there's one detective that's after him for years. So in 1893, he's arrested for insurance fraud for starting a fire. They let him go. And he concocts another scheme with an associate named Ben Pittizel. Basically, they're gonna fake Ben's death, and there's gonna be a $10,000 life insurance payout, and they're just gonna split it. So Pitzel and Holmes purchase the policy, and they start traveling state to state. They go to Colorado, Missouri, Tennessee, New York, and Texas, and they're committing other acts of fraud along the way. Oh, and along the way, Holmes, I forgot to mention this, he got married a second time, never filed for divorce the first time, and then he gets married a third time. So when he dies, he's married to 3 people at once, and none of them know about each other. So Holmes gets arrested again for fraud in St. Louis, and while in jail, he meets a Marion Hedgepeth, a career criminal who agrees to go in on the scheme with Holmes and Petzel. Meanwhile, Petzel moved to Philadelphia to set up another scam. This is so funny. It's a fake patent office to swindle investors. So Holmes, when he gets out of jail in St. Louis, he goes up to Philadelphia and he kills Petzel. Now, Petzel's widow was aware of the scheme with Holmes, and Holmes tells her, oh, no, he's not dead. He's alive. It's part of our scheme. I know, he's just in hiding. And he gives Holmes's widow $500 of the settlement to be like, you know, it's just gotten started. Here's your little cut. You'll see him soon. But Holmes panics because Pitzel has 5 kids and he's worried that they don't believe it and they might tell the authorities. So he kills 3 of them. And it's like one of those, just you're in too deep. The situation got way too messy and you didn't think it through. And Marion Hedgepeth basically stabs him in the back and alerts authorities to what he did. So he gets arrested for Pitzel's murder and the kids, and he's sentenced to death by hanging, and he confesses to 27 other murders. But like I said, it's thought he killed over 200. It's not known. Favorite fact I forgot to mention, some of his victims' bodies, he sold them to the Mayo Clinic brothers. That's right, the famous Mayo Clinic here in Minnesota. They bought some of Holmes's victims because they were so desperate for cadavers to experiment on and study. They didn't ask any questions. It's like, where'd this dead body come from? Fell off the back of a truck? All right, works for us. So Holmes was sentenced to death at the age of 34. So we are doing 34 of these H.H. Holmes silver bars. This one here, 3.9 ounces. They're all gonna be about this size. These are not all gonna be serial killers. It's a whole collection of true crime. I don't know how long it's gonna go. My goal is to cover, just to do this indefinitely, just to keep doing more and more and more criminals, because it's so fascinating to me. And that, you know, I like talking about true crime. It's one of my favorite things to read. Devil in the White City is a book you guys absolutely must read if you are interested in what I'm talking about here with Holmes. So this is our first one. They will be available in limited quantities. Like I said, we're only doing 34 of these. I am keeping number 1 and number 34, and I'm gonna do that for all of my true crime. And you know, we're gonna do different numbers for these. They'll all be under 100. That is me glorifying a serial killer, putting him on a bar of silver. And that's the magic of serial killer H.H. Holmes. Because when you think serial killer, your mind jumps to magic.
I got all my silver plate being sold. I gotta pack it up. I haven't sold it in a while. So let's go do that. There's quite a lot down there. All right, so let's go downstairs now. This guy that I'm selling to, he owns another shop around town here. There's a smelter. They're called EnviroChem or something like that. I found them through the old man, and they do pay the most technically, but they take literally like 4 months to cut you a check. And not that I need the money, but like I want to get paid on this shit now. I don't want to have it up in the air for 3-4 months. So I'm gonna sell this guy. He was paying $3 a pound, which was great. And then like even I was like, well, how the fuck is he making any money? I couldn't get $3 a pound with a gun to my head. I don't know who the fuck was paying him for. Now he's adjusted his prices. So now he's only $1 a pound on knives. So I may as well sell those to EnviroChem. So I'm saving those for EnviroChem, but I'm selling him the rest, and we're gonna kind of separate it out. This is all the silver plate I have. I already brought up one box that's 19 pounds. So let's sort it out. All right, I got these separated. I picked out a little copper. I have a very small amount of copper. I'll show you in a minute. And then this is sterling. So save myself like probably 30 bucks here.
So I doubled up my money. Basically, I had 285 pounds of plate and I got almost $600 for it. So cool. $1 a pound, like I say, I throw it downstairs. It lives for, I do this about every 6 months. It's just a quick in and out. I could have taken more time, gone to EnviroChem, but it would have taken months, and I just money in, money out. That's the name of the game here. So, but profit's profit. That's how we do it. I don't do a whole lot of autographs, but I have a script in front of me. Suddenly Susan, The Wish List, written by Alan Idelson and Rob Lauterstein. It's got the Warner Brothers seal on it. It's been signed by Jerry Springer. And who's the other person who signed it?
Sherry Sherman.
Sherry Sherman. I don't know what the fuck that is, but sure. We've covered autographs, obviously. We're looking for inconsistencies, smudges, differentiation, and the lift of the ink on the paper. Just things to show that it's actually real. Okay, we can see, you see those little dots where it's concentrating? That's where the pen stops for a moment. Okay, yeah, I see that right there, the little swoosh. How much do you pay for this thing?
42.
42?
Yep.
Okay. There's one thing I don't like. They signed it with the same pen, meaning either they were all given purple pens at the read when they did it, or sign, here you go, and this, just as a mentality, seems unlikely to me. And I don't like those dots. Let me do a little more digging. So comparing the two now, see, no swoosh, but this drops the same way. I don't know what's going on here. And he did this thing here with the S. I think this is real. Okay, you got 42 into it. I honestly think you overpaid. Yeah, I got right here more signatures on it for 50 bucks. Brooke Shields, Kathy Griffin, Judd Nelson. I'd be at 50 bucks.
Yeah, no.
Okay. That guy came from the old shop. I've known him for a very long time. Great guy. Customer-wise, he's kind of difficult to deal with. So he had, as you saw, an autograph from Jerry Springer. He is culturally quite relevant, even though some of you watching may not know who he was, because his reign was kind of in the 90s. His signature is probably worth about 50 bucks. Being on that script might make it a little more valuable because I didn't see a whole lot of examples of him signing that script. The other person, like I said, didn't matter. So he said he paid 42. I offered him 50. Frankly, I felt that was fair. I felt the autograph was real. I guarantee I wouldn't be able to sell that thing anytime soon. I would have sat on that thing for a while. So I didn't want to come up at all. It would have been fun to buy, to make a video about the autograph itself. It wasn't worth it to me. It wasn't exciting. That guy's difficult to deal with. He's one of those guys that always wants top dollar. So. But we got to see an autograph. We don't do that a whole lot. If you have an autograph, I probably don't want to buy it. Don't send it to me. I might consign it if it's an interesting enough autograph, but yeah, I'm kind of steering clear of autographs. Once again, you guys, I want to thank the episode sponsor, Cambridge Gold and Antiques on eBay. Go check them out. They're looking for small electronic antique appliances, like small fans. They buy and sell watches. That's mainly their specialty. They do a lot of the same stuff I do. Link in the video description below. Go check them out on eBay or hit them up via email. With that, you guys, we are talking all about Legos.
Each set sold separately.
That's right. Toys are ungodly expensive and so collectible. It's a very interesting story. Now, I myself grew up playing with Legos. In fact, well, we'll talk about this at the end. I had a lot of them. In fact, I had this whole base that I made, and it was my friend would come over and we would work on this base, and we had all these vehicles and like, you know, these like spaceships and stuff that we would make. And my enemies at school, I would fictionalize that they were the bad guys, and we had a base we were defending, and so we pretend that our enemies at school were the bad guys, and we would have these like fights with Legos. And yeah, very normal, healthy thing to do. So Lego, you guys, was founded back in 1932. It was founded by Danish man Ole Kirk Christensen, and the Christensen family still owns Lego to this day. In fact, the founder, Ole, is the great-grandfather to the current chairman of the board. Ole had a workshop in Billund, Denmark. He was a woodworker, and he started making wooden toys in his workshop. Now, where does the word Lego come from? It's actually a Danish word, or I should say it's a combination of Danish words. Leg godt means play well. In the early years, Lego was making wooden toys. They were making yo-yos. They were making trucks and trains. But it wouldn't be until the 1940s we would get the Lego we know and love today. Lego adopted the slogan, and they still have the slogan today, only the best is good enough. As in, they were focused on making high-end, premium quality toys that were unlike any other playing experience for kids. So in 1949, Lego got its first plastic brick. It was made of cellulose acetate. Saying that right? It was a type of plastic that was popular at the time, and what they were doing, it was patented. Nobody had ever done anything like this. The design, the snapping together, this is where we get the first Legos, like I said, 1949. But this wasn't quite the Lego that we know and love today. In fact, that wouldn't come until 9 years later. The stud and tube principle was patented in 1958, and that is Lego we know and love today. The product was an instant success, and Lego immediately began diversifying its products. In the 1950s, they started producing farm sets, town sets. They also started producing these larger sets that allowed kids to build more and more complicated designs. And then in the 1960s, things really changed. This is where we get the Lego figurines that have the movable arms. Lego also introduced a new type of plastic, ABS. This is stronger and more durable than the previous. And then in the 1970s, Lego gets really creative with its marketing. They start producing things like pirate ships and castles, and then they start putting their toes in with other franchises. They start franchising other characters, other stuff from other properties, and integrating it into Lego as sets that kids can buy. You know, I'm talking things like Harry Potter, Batman. And this continues into the 80s. Lego gets bigger and bigger, but then in the 90s, they start to run into some financial trouble. You could really chalk it up to three key mistakes. Over-expansion. Lego opened up factories all over the world. They massively increased their labor force, but they found that the increase of the labor force and all this extra innovation they're putting in, all this over-expansion, they didn't need it. It didn't lead to increased revenue. If anything, it actually hurt them because suddenly they had a bunch of excess inventory they didn't need. Second was mismanagement. Lego had a decentralized management structure and allowed independent businesses to operate independently. This led to inefficiencies, duplication of efforts, and on top of that, Lego's perfection, their obsession with perfection, actually hurt them quite a bit. They're fucking toys. That's great that you care that much about your product, but you can't do it to death because you're going to bleed money. And it would take them too long to develop a new product because they would test it and retest it and work out all the kinks. And it's like, you know, it's good enough. Kids will like it. Let's keep testing it. And you hit a point where you're just banging your head against the desk and it's hurting your company quite a bit. And then the third thing that hurt them in the 90s was competition. The rise of digital toys, things like Game Boy. Additionally, other companies were kind of copying Lego. You know, obviously they didn't have the same product because it was patented, but all these inefficiencies in the 90s led to a mega Lego meltdown. They almost went under. In 2003, they reported a net loss of $174 million, and their credit rating was downgraded to junk status. In 2004, they got a new CEO in to fix things. Newstrop had a plan, and he really did fix Lego. He streamlined efficiency, he got costs down, he focused on core key products instead of diversifying too much with all these different things they're trying to make, and they're putting all this money into research and development, and it takes forever and gobbles up money. He stopped all that, and he innovated. He developed some new Lego products. He started integrating Lego into other properties like films and video games. This is what saved Lego. By 2016, Lego's fortunes had completely turned around, and now Lego's doing really well. It is one of the most popular toy franchises on the planet. You'd be hard-pressed to find a kid that doesn't know what Lego is. So Legos, they're not just a staple of our culture, a staple of a lot of our childhoods, myself included. They can get really expensive. There are some collector sets that blew my mind just how expensive they are and how sought after they are. In fact, Lego Gold, I don't name these episodes anymore like I used to, but that would actually be the title for this, Lego Gold, because it's a gold mine. So let's quickly talk about some of the most expensive Lego sets out there. Well, number one, there's a Lego Gold brick. It's not a set. This is given to employees from Lego. It's a gift. If you work for Lego for 25 years or more, you get one of these bricks. One went at auction for $19,000. Weighs about 25 grams. It's 14 karat gold. The melt value on it is about $880 right now, with the current market value of gold being at about $18.50 an ounce. But they're collectibles. So like I said, $19,000. But that's not even a Lego. The 2007 Millennium Falcon recently went at auction for $25,000. This is one of the most sought after Lego sets out there. It's over 5,000 pieces. Now with these sets, you've got to keep them in the original packaging. Here's the not joy is you can't toy it. You can't build it. You can't play with it. You got to keep it in the plastic. There is an entire website that gives you Lego prices like a stock market. It updates every day. It's an entire lexicon of all the Legos, their current market value. And there's people that trade these professionally. In fact, I met one in here a couple weeks ago. He had some Lego sets. But, you know, you stick it away for 20 years, it might go up. Better than a stock, better than most investments. Another expensive set, the Cafe Corner, also released in 2007. It was part of the Lego Creator line. It's highly sought after due to its unique design. Also had a very limited availability. A lot of these sets, very low run. Recently, this one sold for over $5,000. Another $5,000 set released in 2008 was the Taj Mahal set. It's sought after due to its size and its complexity. And that one's cool. Next up is the Star Wars Boba Fett minifigurine. This one sold for over $27,000. This was given out at the 2010 San Diego Comic-Con, and it's ungodly rare. It's so sought after. And finally, a Lego Batman statue sold for over $15,000. It was released in coordination with the Lego Batman movie. Like I said, this new marketing they're doing that is just brilliant and saving them. It's 35,000 pieces, it's life size, and yeah, it's expensive. Lego also has some controversial sets I want to quickly touch on. Jabba's Palace, 2013, removed from stores because it promoted the slavery of women, because Jabba has women slaves, which, like, yeah. They didn't make a fucking Amistad Lego. It's Jabba the Hutt. He's got slaves. He's Jabba the Hutt. He's a slave trader. That's his description as to what he is. Next up, 2014, the Marsh Line Triple E. This was attacked by environmental groups for glorifying the shipping industry and promoting it. They're a real-life shipping company, and they partnered with Lego. Brilliant move. Lego said they simply intended to inspire children to learn about the shipping industry, and they are committed to environmental protection. It was a mess. And then finally, the Architecture White House. In 2011, this set was criticized for its depiction of a slave laborer working on the construction of the White House. The set was just supposed to be a historically accurate representation of what happened, but some people thought that it was inappropriate to include a slave laborer in a toy set, and I can see both sides of this. And this set they did not pull. It's still available for purchase. Generally though, the company is pretty responsive to criticism. Like I said, they strive for perfection. They want to stay out of scandals, and it seems they do capitulate when enough fire gets breathed their way. Like I said, you guys, though, there is a whole website you can check out that's like stock trading for Legos. There's a lot of money to be made here, but just know, with any collectible, I say this again and again, there is a risk. You could lose everything. I don't think so. This actually does seem like a pretty safe collectible. It's been around for almost 100 years now. It's not going anywhere. They have become a huge staple of our culture. Kids still today play with Legos. I played with Legos. I'm sure a lot of you that are older than me played with Legos. They're not going anywhere. If you're gonna collect these, number one, don't open them. Keep them in the plastic. Keep them safe. Keep them dry. Protect them, safeguard them. It's one thing that sucks is you buy a toy, and if you like Legos, you obviously want to build it, but you can't, because as soon as you do, you destroy the value. I would look for stuff that's controversial, and I would buy that stuff. Anything associated with history is probably a great buy. Look for the runs, look of how many they make of each of these Legos, and you might just find treasure from toys. Who knew? All right, well, just like that, everyone, it is the end of the day and the end of the episode. Once again, I sincerely want to thank the episode sponsor, Cambridge Gold and Antiques. They're based out of Cambridge, Wisconsin. They are actively looking for small antique electronic appliances such as fans. They also specialize in watches, wristwatches, pocket watches. Hit them up if you're buying or selling. There's a link in the video description. There's an email to contact them as well. And with that, you guys, if you like this video, be sure you give it a thumbs up. Hit that notification button so you guys know when new episodes of Pawn Man are coming out. Please consider becoming a Pawn Man Patreon or sponsor if you like what I do here, if you like the videos. $1 a month gets you early access to videos and exclusive posts for Patreons only. Get my books on Amazon. Go visit my new store website, you guys. Again, there's a link in the video description below, the Linktree link. It'll take you to my brand new store. And with that, I will see you guys back here for another great episode of Pawn Man. Later.